Well, this is a treat. I was invited to be with my nephew, Chris Whitler, and that's him there, the tall one in the dark blue jumpsuit.
And he's a battalion chief with Marion County, Florida Fire Rescue.
Yes, and so they were having their training today to train how to rescue people by using a helicopter,
How exciting!
and they come down on cables. So I got to meet these guys. I was one of the pack, Robin.
That's neat. All you guys bonded, I bet.
So I just want to tell you, I'm going to let Chris say a little bit here. That's Chris, that's my nephew. And just listen to a little bit of what he has to say, and then Robin and I will come back on and talk.
But, when we on a call, there's going to be trees.
I got you, right? Especially if you're in the forest, which is, my guess, that's going to be one of the most common places you'll need.
No, that's where it's going to be. Yeah, because it's going to be where, like, no vehicle access. Well, wheel vehicle. Or like an extreme case where someone's having like it couldn't. Well, I guess it could even be traumatic, but they're kind of far out and they need the hoist, and they're having like a medical issue.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay, so we are at the Ocala Airport, the Ocala International Airport.
Yeah.
And, of course, the runway is not here. We're in the grass. And the reason they chose this spot is because you see the big open field and then you see the trees. The likelihood of a rescue that needs a helicopter wouldn't be like this. It would have trees everywhere.
I bet it would.
But they chose this spot because this is how they train. In case something goes wrong, they can move out over the open area instead of getting hit into the trees.
Yeah, because they're not just practicing rescuing the injured, but like you were telling me, they were also practicing being the pilots.
Yeah,
Of the helicopter.
apparently, from what I understood. Now, in that first scene you saw where the guys were standing around listening to the gentleman talking, he was telling them these are pilots who know how to fly a helicopter, but have not done a whole lot of rescues. So they have to learn how to hover and stay in one spot and be able to move really slow and really little by little, inch by inch.
And that's pretty amazing because when you and I were privy to watching this yesterday, the day before this day, that helicopter was very stationary in the air above the tree line, not moving anywhere. It was pretty amazing, those pilots.
So that's my nephew Chris right there in the middle of the picture right there. He's slightly taller than the rest of them. And it was a very grassy, tall grass, rough terrain for an old man, Robin.
That's you, not Chris.
No, not Chris. No. Chris has run marathons. Let me tell you something. Oh, I am so proud. Hey, I am proud of all my nephews. I'm proud of my nieces. I'm proud of my son. I'm proud of your son and daughter. I don't want anybody to think I'm only proud of people who are amazing like Chris.
Well, we have to say thank you to Chris because he served in Afghanistan, and
Yeah.
he's a battalion chief, of course, and he's pretty amazing.
So, but I just wanted you to know, if you're listening and you're related to me, I'm proud of you. So, even if you're not related to me, I'm probably proud of you. All right, but anyway, so it was such a privilege to be out there and to be able to videotape all this. The rotor on the helicopter, the blades do not go slow.
Yeah.
That is an effect that a camera has on fast-moving, spinning things like blades. It's called the stroboscopic effect, I think. I looked it up yesterday.
What you said, stroboscopic effect. Yeah, but look how straight he's just hovering. He's not veering anywhere.
And that apparently, just so you know, there's no button they push that says hover.
And I do love the fact that Chris was, taking care of the young gentleman in training. He was making sure everything was tight.
Yes. Yeah,
everything was tight.
He's the one in charge of the guys in blue, and the other guy was in charge of the guys in green. And I think, if I understood it right, the green were the guys flying and working in the helicopter, and the blue were the guys on the ground going up and down. So you'll see that some of these guys play the role of an injured person.
Uh-huh.
And the others, of course, play the role of the rescuer. So
Oh, yeah, and they probably switch off, too. So look at this guy. He came out of the helicopter and see, it's so windy.
So he would be a rescuer, and he makes it to the ground, and then he's got to get over to the injured, and then hook the what do you call them?
The hook.
Yeah, but the hook goes onto this like a cradle-looking thing to lift an injured person up.
Oh, yeah.
That's some kind of a wrap thing.
Like a big strap.
I don't know what you call it. You'll see it.
A big harness.
Harness is a
imagine.
good word. That's
Yeah.
a good word. Yeah.
I know. There's this guy. He's.
Okay, now you see him moving his hand back and forth?
Yeah.
That was something they learned how to do, because they're not just motioning for the sake of motioning. They're motioning because they're learning this hand movement means come this way, this hand movement means go away. The guy doing the training with the green, sorry, I don't know any names or titles, but the guy doing the training with the green, he was saying that don't worry, if it has to go slow, you tell us to go slow. And there's a hand signal that tells you to go slow, and there was hand signals for a lot of that stuff.
And you can see another gentleman up there in the helicopter looking out the open doorway. I mean, look at that. It's right there. This is pretty amazing.
Yeah, there's two guys. I think there was two guys.
And they're doing a group thing now. They're talking about safety, harness safety and things.
I honestly don't know what they were talking about. In the actual setting, it was so loud. I honestly couldn't hear anything but the helicopter. So the videotape does not, even if we weren't narrating it, the sound would not even come close to what it sounded like. See, you see that like harness he's sitting on, like a swing?
Oh, okay.
So that's what they lift the injured person up in. That's got to be scary for somebody who has never trained,
Oh, sure. And look at those clouds. I mean, they were looming over the area. I mean, lightning could strike any time.
I thought that. So what they said was there are three things when somebody is trapped or injured, needs to be rescued in a remote area.
There's another guy in the helicopter helping the injured guy in there.
So there are three things. Well, actually four. The first one is a vehicle. You just take a car, take a truck, something, and you go out to the injured person and you rescue them.
Oh, okay.
The second one is if you can't take a car or truck, you take an all-terrain vehicle. Maybe a Jeep, I don't know. One of
A
those.
four-wheeler or something like that.
And then the third one is the helicopter. But there are two things with the helicopter. If the helicopter can land, then it lands. So the fourth thing that they could do, and I think that's what Chris is saying in the part that we just skipped over, that we let him talk, so you already know that because you've watched it. But the fourth one is the cable, and the cable's 110 feet long, I think they said.
Oh, okay.
So that's as close as they can get to the ground is 110 feet.
Oh, my.
Well, I mean, as far as they can get. They can't get any farther away.
Yeah, and then when they have all those trees surrounding them, if it's in that kind of an area, wow,
And
that is something.
and in our area, Chris was saying that the need for this happened because there was actually somebody out, I think it was in the forest, he said, that needed to be rescued. And somebody said, to somebody else, how come we don't have that kind of thing? Because other communities have rescue training. So they developed this program so that they could see that guy's got that's an amazing helmet. It's got a radio in it. I think it's got a camera on it.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, my. That is pretty amazing.
So I think everyone, and later on you'll see Chris. He's the second to the last one that I have on the video. I believe he's got that same helmet on, that same kind of helmet.
But these guys, they're all no-nonsense kind of guys. I mean, this is training. This is reality. And you have to step up to the plate and be able to do something like this on a moment's notice. So this is pretty amazing. Thank you all for doing this, learning out.
Yeah. So many times you hear a helicopter overhead and you think, oh, they must be looking for a fugitive, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, 9 times out of 10, I just made that number up, but most of the time, it's a rescue of some sort.
Oh, okay.
It's not always looking for somebody. Like, there's a bad guy in my neighborhood, they must be looking for him. Although that's sometimes.
Right.
So the staging ground is right there where those guys were, and what the helicopter does is it picks up a guy, and then they make a loop. You'll see he's making a loop, and then they come back, and then the guy he just picked up gets lowered, and that guy is playing the role, so to speak, of the rescuer, and these guys are learning how to be the rescuer part two. It's the same person, but
Right.
like these guys are learning how to strap them on and bring them back up to the helicopter.
And the pilots in the helicopter are learning how to keep the helicopter stationary in the air, because you said they all fly helicopters, but now they have to really train and learn those specific maneuvers.
And specific is the word. I mean, can you imagine how precise you have to be able to do what they're doing? I mean, I have a hard enough time parking my car between two lines. I park, and I ask you, am I in the line? No, not really. And I got to do it again.
Well, this is great because, we see these guys talking to each other. Communication is the key here. And that's how I feel. I mean, and no question is a bad question. And you all have to be sure of what you're doing and when you're going to do it, so everybody stays safe.
So for those who are listening, Robin and I always do our videos together. Today, I was there by myself because Robin had a shopping engagement with her mom.
I did. I spent the whole day with my mom. We had a great time, and just had a wonderful, wonderful time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I got the call,
I love my mom.
my nephew Shannon, who is Christopher's brother, is the one who called me and told me that they were doing this
Yesterday.
The
day before this video.
And he said to me, "This might be a good video for your YouTube channel." So of course, yeah, absolutely, it'd be a good video. So Robin and I went yesterday, and we have that video on the channel also. But we stood across the street. We stood at the fence, and Chris knew that I wanted to videotape this, so he communicated with me yesterday.
Oh, he was moving his arms up and down.
Yeah. So he communicated with me yesterday and said that we could do it this morning at 9 o'clock. So I was out there bright and early. That's not really early for me. I'm an early guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But look at the wind. I want to say something. I think at this point I'm closer than I was earlier in the video. I got the okay from one of the guys. And so you see the guy in green.
Yes.
So he's with the helicopter guys.
Okay.
The way I understand it. And the blue is the fire rescue guys.
Yeah, and look at them hanging out of the door. Isn't that something? Oh, here he comes.
Yeah.
I wonder if the other guy that's hanging out of the door is strapped in there, or if he's just with a safety harness, or if he's just there hanging out.
I don't know.
Door.
I don't know.
Now he's coming down.
Yeah.
And there's his arm.
I told Chris, I said, it's so amazing what you do. He said, Uncle Larry, it's really easy. And I said, so is playing the accordion, but I won't die if I make a mistake. Oh, yeah.
Now that young man had his arm out there, and you were explaining that to me earlier.
Well, see, that hook right there is heavy. It's a heavy hook.
Yeah.
And so if it, you don't want it to hit you, you don't want it to swing toward you. So they move real. It's unbelievable how gently they can maneuver. It fascinates me to watch that blade because it's not going that slow.
Oh yeah, because you can't see it when it's moving.
No.
You can't see it when it's moving.
So look up stroboscopic effect and it'll explain on YouTube or somewhere on Google.
I love the paint color. It sparkles.
So the helicopter itself is the sheriff's department helicopter. And the sheriff's department hangar for the helicopters, when I was there was 3 of them in there. And
3 helicopters.
It's right next to the flight school, the aviation.
Ocala Aviation
Flight School, which is where Dan Martone works, and we got a tour with Dan a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Of that building, so we had already been there. This is behind the scenes. You have to have the code and everything to get back there. So.
Oh yeah. I wonder what the weight capacity is on that cable.
Yeah, I might not be able to be rescued. Do you know they actually can rescue animals though? So I think I probably would be okay.
Oh yeah, I was
don't think
wondering
I'm a horse.
about that. No, but
I
we
might
have
smell
seen
like one
that.
sometimes.
Well, that's one thing about Marion County, Florida, is that all of these guys, Ocala, Marion County Fire Rescue, Ocala Fire Rescue, Marion County Sheriff's Department, Ocala Police Department, Bellevue Police Department, Dunellen, I mean, every and state troopers, every law enforcement and every first responder and firefighters, they're all aware of what's cutting edge, and they all want it to be right here in our community, so they're able to help someone at a moment's notice. This is pretty amazing. Uh-oh, something happened.
Okay, that's interesting that you said that. Something didn't happen.
Oh, okay.
What happened was they trained for something happened.
Oh.
So it's like acting. It's like, let's pretend on this rescue you're going to be up, and then, is it not ready? And then they have to practice the hand signals to tell the guys in the helicopter, nope, not yet, don't pull it up yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
It's very good that you noticed that. Something did not go wrong, but they're practicing as if something went wrong.
Oh, so they try to come up with all types of scenarios then in their training missions. So,
Right.
Wow, isn't that something?
And that helicopter is, what do you think, 20 feet up? It's not that far up.
I don't know if it's
30 feet maybe?
all I know is it's above treetop level.
Or maybe
to
40.
Me.
Yeah, maybe higher than I think.
But I mean, I'm not good at judging.
Here's the funny
distance.
thing. When I stood next to it in the hangar, now look, I'm practically under it.
Yeah,
at this
I
point.
see that.
I'm practically
I see
under
that.
it. So when I was in the hangar, it really is not as big a machine as it looks in the air.
Oh, okay.
I mean, think about it. There's a guy right there.
Yeah.
It's probably the size of a small RV or something.
Are there two pilots in there? Is
I
there
don't know.
one?
I
It
don't
kind of
know.
looks like there are two white helmets in the front, and then there's a fella in the back. What did you call that? The hot seat or something?
Well, yeah, they had a reference. I don't know if the hot seat meant the pilot or if it meant in the back. Yeah, but you have people in the back, people in the front, and it's incredible, really.
And I'll bet the mechanics are all over those helicopters every day. I mean, doing what they do to the cable, to the mechanisms, to the blades, everything. In fact, when we were at the radio station a few weeks ago, we got to see some of the blades being changed in a helicopter, which was pretty amazing.
And that was a very big helicopter.
Yeah, it
that
was
one.
larger than this one.
Yeah, these are not as large.
Now, what are they doing here?
They're getting another one of the guys, and I don't know if that's Chris or not.
Oh, so they go up, and then one of the gentlemen tether down,
Right.
and then get off, and then the other one that's on the ground with the injured person, then they do what they do. So the one person does all three things then. They tether down, they're the injured person, and they're the person helping the injured person. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a plane ticket.
Yeah, I wanted to, I videotaped as if I was going to use B-roll, but to make the
Yeah.
video, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to let all the raw video be on here
Uh-huh.
because you couldn't hear anything anyway. And by the way, you noticed how windy, you could see it in the grass. It almost looked like water flowing.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I am not exaggerating. It really felt like it was going to blow me over. It was really that
Well,
strong.
if you were wearing a toupee, it would have been gone.
Yeah, that would have been... that would have been...
And you said the terrain, that grassy terrain, is not flat. There's a lot of divots and whoopie-doos and all that kind of stuff there. So, I mean, it's not a pristine area.
When you're an old man, you notice things like that. If you don't have a flat surface, you notice it. No, but anyway, so that road that you see the car on the right side of that truck,
Yeah.
that's 60th Avenue,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
on the left side of the screen, that's the runway for the airport. So this piece of grass here is between 60th and the runway.
This is really, really pretty amazing. So fortunate that you were invited to do this. Very, very fortunate, because it really does cement all of the caring that is in all of the people that worked for first responders and law enforcement. And there is no blanket title for them all.
Yeah.
And they care about this. It's not something that they just get up during the morning and say, "Oh, I am going to be a firefighter today." No, they don't do that.
When they get
It's a passion.
And when they get the job, there is not a second of the day that they have to be ready every single second of the day.
Oh yeah.
Whether they're on the clock or not, they are on call. And all this training, constant training, right? Not just this kind of
Yes.
thing, but this is just one aspect of what they do.
Sure.
All the different things they do, putting out fires and climbing buildings and everything that they have to do to rescue people, to put out fires, etc. They're training for it all the time. And every day, more than once a day, you hear sirens out there.
Oh sure.
And every time I hear a siren, I think, oh my gosh, somebody's hurting, somebody's burning, somebody was in a wreck, somebody needs to be airlifted to the hospital,
Yeah.
somebody's choking, somebody's got a heart attack, somebody's got something. And if it wasn't for the people who have studied this,
Yes.
Thank
God for them.
we wouldn't have any hope to be rescued in this world. So Robin always thanks you guys, and I want to thank you guys. And in fact, I said to the guys when I was leaving, I was an old man to them, and I said, hey guys, I just want you to know I appreciate you allowing me to hang out with you today, and I'm proud of all of you. And one guy said, what? It was very loud, so I said, I'm proud of all of you.
Here he comes for another pass.
Yeah.
No, this is pretty incredible. And it's just so incredible. Thank you so much. And thank you, Chief Christopher Whitler, for inviting your uncle to come and do
what was
this.
weird is,
Chief Christopher Whitler.
in school, people call you
Italian
by
chief.
your last name,
Yeah,
and my last name is the same as his last name.
right.
So when I heard people calling him Whitler, I was thinking, oh, I had to snap my head. All right, now I think this...
Oh, he's got lights on the bottom, too.
All right, now this is
Just
going to
noticed.
be... I'm pretty sure this is Christopher coming out of the... This is him now.
Oh, okay.
This is his turn. He's going to be coming out of that helicopter.
Okay.
And if you don't... I don't know how to say this, but I was praying at this moment. It was like when I watched my son skydive.
Yeah.
God was getting a big, loud prayer from me. Well, I was saying a big, loud prayer right now for Chris because I knew that he was coming down.
He's amazing. You said he was in charge of all of the men in the blue
Yeah.
jumpsuits,
Yeah.
and the other guy was in charge of
Yeah.
all of the men in the green
So
jumpsuits.
that's Chris coming out of a helicopter
yes.
in the air.
Standing on a strut.
Oh my gosh.
He's getting ready. He's
And what
standing
have
on a
I done
strut.
in my life in jobs? I've edited audio tape.
Here he goes.
There he is. There he is. He's going down.
Wow. Boy, this gives me chills. He's checking everything too. He's just not
And
enjoying
if you watch,
the
he's
moment.
going to make a hand motion when he is one body length from the ground.
Okay.
He told me to watch for that, so you watch for it. Here
Okay.
it comes. There it is.
Oh my.
And then,
Oh, look at that. And he
And-
did
and
flip his
he's-
wrist too. And he stood straight up.
yeah,
when he
he's
came
he's
down.
upset. So now
Good
he
job.
removes the hook.
Uh-huh.
And now, if he was in actual rescue situation, now he would walk over to the injured person. But he's the teacher, he's the trainer, so he's doing that thing. But now the hook is going to go over to the guy on the ground.
So the guy in the green is probably talking to the guy
Right, he's with
up
the helicopter.
in the helicopter
Right,
pilot.
right.
And there goes Christopher.
And in a real rescue situation, there wouldn't be somebody on the ground giving those instructions.
Right.
So all you would see is those two guys, one on the ground. He's playing the role of the injured guy,
Uh-huh.
and then the
Oh,
other
he's
guy.
flipping his hand.
Yeah, he's the rescue. So he's basically Chris. Like Chris had come down, and
Yeah.
now he's where Chris would have been if this was an actual rescue. And now he's going to hook him up.
Okay, so he's not running to get the hook and coming back to the injured person. He stays with the injured person the whole time.
And in this case, you notice they didn't pretend or they didn't play as if something had gone wrong.
Yeah.
So it's just gone up. So.
Oh my.
All right, well, we're almost done with the video,
Gosh.
and before we wrap it up, I want to say thank you to my nephew Chris. Thank you to every one of these guys that was out there for allowing me to hang out. I always felt like I was in the way, although I tried to keep my distance. And what an impressive group of young people were out there.
So impressive. Marion County Fire Rescue, Marion County Sheriff's Department. Fabulous. Thank you, all of you, for
Yeah.
everything.
And taxpayers, thank you, because you pay for this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, don't ever stop.
Yeah, don't ever. Yeah, that's the part you have to. No, never. I don't want to get
No.
political. But anyway,
Look at
isn't that a
this.
great shot? Look at that
It's a
shot.
great shot.
That's just.
it's
that's
such a
just. Look at that
that's a
wind.
Nobel Prize shot right there. I'm gonna send it in.
Send that in.
That's right.
All right. Well, the World Spins Fine on Her Own is a little different today because we're not really on camera. We're just narrating after the fact. But
This is amazing. Boy, what a great opportunity you have. Wonderful.
it was.
Here he goes.
It was sweet. All right. Here comes our little globe thing. All right. Thank you, everybody.
The world spins fine on her